Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel and thank you for joining in. Today I'd like to introduce you to Fiona Harris. Hi Fiona.
Hi, how you going?
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Can you please tell us about yourself?
I'm in my late 50s. I'm a mother of four. I'm studying EP at the moment. Prior to EP, I did some root cause therapy and became a root cause therapist from the Centre for Healing as well. Um, I'm been through a little bit. I've come. My family, my original family, came from Sri Lanka, so I came to Australia. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and we came to Australia when I was two. I was raised in a very strict household. Both, I now know, I didn't know it then, but both my parents, of course, were raised in traumatic situations because, it was spare the rod, what don't spare the rod, spoil the child or something, that sort of, attitude. I grew up being a micromanager and needing to control everything in order to feel safe. So I was quite dominant, and my go-to in the fight flight response was fight. So whenever I felt stressed, I went straight to fight, and that became my way of life. And through doing this work, I've since realised that that's not naturally who I am, but it's who I ended up being for a long part of my life. I had great relationships with my children up until their mid-20s. Had the most perfect family in it, I thought at the time, but I was still very controlling and I was still very domineering. Then things happened and my oldest son decided to not see us anymore. He got engaged and then got married and chose not to have us in his life, which sent me on a spiral because I kind of lost my identity as the mother of four, and I think I cried every day for 2 years. I wasn't able to support my family because all I did was focus on the trauma of not losing, not having my son there, and I didn't focus on the other three that I had and my husband. And my husband went through a bit of a breakdown and he really struggled mentally and made some not great decisions. And I found myself just waking up one morning and going, I don't know if I want to be in this world anymore because I want the pain to stop. And that's when I realized, and I started actually listening to the Woke Bloke podcast, which Ryan from the Centre of Healing was on. And I would take my phone and my headphones and go for a walk and listen to the podcast. And it sort of opened up a world for me, a world where shame wasn't the biggest part of your life. Because for me, shame and something that I've carried, and guilt is something that I've carried with me all my life.
Shame's a big one
So
for a lot of people.
yeah,
So can
absolutely.
guilty.
Once I started doing the work and then doing the root cause therapy, and then I found the EP as well, and I found the information and the knowledge that you gain from EP is so valuable. Yeah, that's kind of my story, and I've worked my way back to loving my life again. My life isn't what I thought it was, um, but what it is now is genuine. I'm not in control anymore. I'm in the river, floating down the river. Whereas for so long I swam against the current and it was exhausting. And now I just go, whatever life brings, it brings. And it's so much more of a peaceful way to live.
And swimming against the current, how did that
Yeah.
impact your nervous system?
I actually have liver cirrhosis, would you believe it or not, which non-alcoholic liver cirrhosis. And I found myself very unwell for a long time there, and needed to go and figure out what was going on and have come to realize that the stress and anxiety of swimming against the current and put my body in a place where it wasn't very healthy.
How is embodied processing? Has that helped you with your nervous system?
It's it helps me before, interestingly enough, before I actually, while I was doing the root cause therapy, I was at quite a low point. So I actually went to an embodied processing practitioner, and she was able to release a lot of that stored trauma that I had in me. that and they're things that you don't, it's so interesting because you think those memories cannot impact your life, but when you come to realize those memories and those limiting beliefs do impact your life, and I could peel back the layers and be the person that I was meant to be, which is somebody who's loving and compassionate and not in control anymore.
So what I'm hearing from you is embodied processing has helped you find who you truly are.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
for
amazing.
sure.
Does it make you feel more calm or relaxed? Why does it make you feel like you don't need to be in control?
I guess having the faith and knowing that I have the tools to figure out what's going on, and I don't numb what's going on, or I don't explode when things trigger. I still get triggered. It's the universe, stuff will trigger, always keep triggering us, but I don't have that initial reaction and then panic about how do I control the situation. I just sit back and go, wow, I can assess my feelings and go, there's some powerful feelings in there. What are they trying to teach me?
So
You know?
that's really deep.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds pretty powerful.
Yeah. And now 5 years ago, something would happen with the kids or there would be an argument, and I would carry that for months. Whereas now I might sit with it for an hour, but I'm not, and I'm not as nowhere near as reactive as I once was, which, makes for better relationships with the children who still choose to be in my life.
So has it had a huge impact on your family?
I think so. I think so. I think yeah, definitely think. I mean, I've only got the last one, and he's the only one home. But my daughter got married a month or so ago, and it was the most amazing day. And I was in the moment for every second of it.
Well, that's nice.
And yeah, and it was because we expected nothing. And we just all, the whole, everybody there, all they wanted to do was celebrate the love of my daughter and her partner. The love that was in the room and there at the time was just, it was magical, and it was such a beautiful day because I didn't have expectations of what would make me feel worthy, I guess. I took that off the table and just enjoyed the day for what it was, and it was amazing.
I was just truly present.
Yeah, that's right. And interestingly enough, when I've done some practice with EP, since then, that is my new resourcing.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
day, and
Yes,
dancing
that's
with my
beautiful.
husband on the dance floor with my daughter and her husband and my son there, that's my new resourcing.
Yes. No, that's nice. What was your favorite part of your daughter's wedding?
I think being with her when she was getting ready and just seeing her in her element and being a witness to that was so joyful. And then also when they saw each other, when my husband and my daughter saw each other, that was extremely emotional, which was wonderful. And when, her husband saw her and, got emotional, that was wonderful. Um, yeah, it was all beautiful. It was just an amazing day. The speeches were all amazing, you know. But yeah, I think being with her in the beginning and just getting ready and just, having that time to witness her, she was just glowing.
And how did you feel in your body on your daughter's wedding?
Oh, there was a sense of calm and a sense that everything's perfectly the way it should be, or
Nice.
was meant to be.
So you would say the embodied processing has had a big impact on your life.
For sure, for sure. And just the wealth of knowledge too, the understanding of and the amount of knowledge that goes into the courses that the Centre for Healing do, the beauty is that I feel like I infect others with that vibration. And so, you know, it's just a nice thing. And the more people that we can infect with that higher vibration, the happier I think the world will be.
And what do you mean by higher vibration?
Just we all have we all have energy in us, and we all have a vibration, and the low vibration things are, anger and greed and fear and all those low vibration. Our energy is low,
So our
but when you,
emotions.
yeah, yeah. And so when you have compassion and you see the good in things and you want what's best for everybody around you, it raises your vibration, and you infect others. And I think that's really, really important, that we are able to do that without even opening our mouths.
And are you glad you started your healing journey?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There was a long time there where I was so upset with what had gone on in my family. Um, but now I'm grateful for that, because it put me on this road.
Amazing.
And, I could have lived my entire life micromanaging and controlling and living in trauma and, suffering, arguing with people, angry at people, you know, not being able to get my own way. And I could have lived that life until I died. And I don't think it would have been a very long life. And I think, you know, they would have said, she's not a very nice person. But my last breath at my funeral, that's what they would have said. She was always up for a fight, which is great, because, that fight instinct protected me. So I'm grateful for that fight instinct, because it got me to survive till now, but I don't need it anymore. And that's the beauty of the work.
Thank you for telling me that it was there to protect you, because a lot of people, I believe, don't understand why our emotions sometimes will come up.
Yeah,
And it's good to just sit with your emotions
yeah,
and just be present and start to talk to your emotions. Just like listen and be like, what's your purpose?
yeah,
What is your need? And
yeah,
just listen and it will come. And just, if it's anger, lots of times it's there to protect you.
yeah,
Um, it could be, you may not actually need the protection, but it could be an underlining fear, and
yeah,
that could be trauma. And the more you sit with yourself and just listen to your emotions and allow your emotions instead of resisting and pushing down your emotions, which a lot of us do by staying busy, working out, eating, sleeping, going on our phone, going on the TV,
yeah, yeah,
alcohol, instead of pushing our emotions down, but actually just listening to our body
yeah,
and becoming curious of why this is happening.
yeah,
Why are we feeling this way? What are our needs are? It's a step to healing,
yeah,
and it's a step to
absolutely.
understanding ourselves better.
And it's just so powerful.
It definitely is. What advice do you have for our viewers who are just starting their healing journey?
Be kind to yourself, have compassion for the person that may not have always made the best decisions. Find that place where you can view yourself as the hero in your story. I think if you realized how amazing we all are, and what we take from that, we can view our lives very differently and have I don't know. I think it's quite magical. I think the world we live in is so magical, and we don't see that because we're so caught up in our traumas and trying to live how the world expects us to live, rather than what our soul is trying to tell us.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your journey.
You're
and
very
your
welcome.
family with us.
Thank you for having me.